Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining me here today on the Integrative Health Coach Success Podcast. I'm Dr. Stephen Cabral, board-certified doctor of naturopathy, founder of the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute. Excited today because we are going over a big theme, and that is the goal that everyone, myself, you, everybody who's a practitioner should keep in mind when building their coaching practice. So my goal really with this show, on the Monday show, is to make it really actionable, seamless, and brass tacks. That basically means like if there's a million things that you could do, right? So there's a million things you could do to get well. There's a million things you could do to build a practice. You have to understand is that so few really matter, but people are practicing all of the things that don't actually matter, right? Like they're focused on all of the things that may have a little bit of help, but not a huge help. So like, let's just give an example. On the health-based stratosphere, if someone's looking to lose weight, they can do cold plunge, they could do sauna, they could use nutrition, they could do exercise, they could do meditation, they could do all sorts of different things. But if someone's trying to lose weight and they've never changed anything before, right? Let's take hormones and everything out of the equation. They need to follow a nutrition plan, right? Like forget about the cold plunge in the beginning, forget about the sauna in the beginning, forget about even exercise in the beginning, focus on nutrition. Then focus on movement and walking because that will help glucose and hormones. So what I'm trying to say to you is this, because I know as practitioners, you know what I'm saying, is that focus on what really moves the needle. So you can be doing your exercise on point. You can be doing your sauna. You could be doing cold plunge. You could be doing meditation. You could be even sleeping well. But if you are not eating well, you are not losing weight. It's going to be really difficult. You would need a tremendous amount of expenditure in order to balance off the nutrition. And even then, the food that you might be eating would be so inflammatory from the standard American diet that it's going to be difficult to get everything in alignment. So what I want to share with you along the same vein is, what do you need to do in your coaching practice? Like this needs to be the goal, in my opinion. So here's the nice thing. To create a very successful practice, and I've really done it all and I've done it all poorly. And then I've realized that I'm like, this is way too much to do. What actually matters, and here's why I realized that, is because I had to then train up a lot of other practitioners. So like for my first location, my first studio, I had 13 personal trainer, nutrition, health coaches, okay? So that's location one. And then location two, I had 22 different therapists, nutritionists, personal trainers, et cetera, et cetera. So my goal was, I didn't know like the various backgrounds and knowledge bases always in depth of what they knew. So I had to create a very replicable program. And so I actually gave each one of them the exact protocol to follow with clients for the first 12 weeks. They didn't do anything different. They followed that exact protocol and they tweaked it as needed. But then after 12 weeks, they knew their client a lot better. They were meeting with them once a week, sometimes more. So then after that, they then developed their own unique programs within the greater teaching, right, that we do to be able to help their client to a great degree. That is how we became very successful. There was a program that worked. They followed the program. It was tweaked a bit based on bio-individuality, but we had all sorts of programs for that. And we got great results. I mean, we had a 6-month waiting list for forever, for a long time. And we were able to do, 20,000 plus appointments a year, a lot of appointments. And so that doesn't mean that anybody and everybody wants to do that many appointments. That doesn't mean everybody wants to build a team that big. And I get that. And it's actually not the end all be all. It's just one way to go about it. And I think that you don't actually necessarily get more personal satisfaction out of that. I think personal satisfaction comes with being able to actually see the end results of a client that you're working with. And so, it doesn't mean that you ever need to build a team beyond yourself. But what we need to understand is that you need to do relatively few things really well. And that's how you succeed. But you have to do those relatively few things very well. Like that truly is the secret. So I broke it down into 3 different sections. I just want to make sure that you have these sections. It's really important, right? Listen to this show. You could be listening to this show anytime during the year, but if it's part of those 90-day, right, the 12-week years, hopefully you're starting your 12-week year with this. So the first part is you have to know your numbers. That's not just financials. We'll get to that in a moment, but it's not just financials. So you need to know your time constraints. Not everybody can work 9 to 5. Not everybody can work 8 to 6, like whatever it might be, right? Like a lot of people in our practice they were stay-at-home moms and they are now developing a health coaching practice. Okay. So they can typically work 9 to 1. So drop the kids off at school at 8. And again, this could be stay-at-home dads, it could be anybody, but I'm just sharing with you a lot of the people from our program. And so they get back and they get onto their first call at 9 o'clock, or they start their basically protocol check-ins. If they're level 2, they start reading the labs that they have for the day and they go through that and develop their programs, right? So like it can start whenever. You can do your first call at noon if you wanted to, but they're often working between 9 and 1. And then at 1 might be lunch, might be doing a couple other things before going to school, right? Get the kids. Again, it can be any schedule you want. It could be someone that has a full-time job and they're only able to work from 5 at night to 8 at night, or 6 at night to 9 at night, like however you want to do it. But what I'm sharing is you have to know your time constraints. Like it's a real number, right? So that's a number, your time. What time do you have to dedicate? All right. And then energy. Do you have the energy to be able to work a couple hours a day? Do you have the energy to be able to work 5-hour days, 8-hour days on top of what you're doing? You may or may not, at least for right now, right? Because maybe you're in your own healing process. So it's good to know that as well. And then you want to be able to know how many consultations, client appointments you're willing to do. So for some people, they're willing to do 20, 30 hours a week. It's a lot, right? If you're willing to do 20, 30 hours a week, of course, like if you're looking at the effective change you'll have with the number of clients you can work with, 120 clients a month, it's a lot, right? 80 to 120, right? 30 times 4, yes. And then obviously monetarily. So that's the last number, looking at your income. And you have to either work either way. Like if you need to earn a certain amount of income, okay, then you need to know how many appointments you have to do and then how much to charge per appointment, right? But if it's more about job satisfaction, but you need to earn some income, yes, that's part of it. Then you're going to say, okay, this is how many appointments a week I can do, and then I can work up from there. We're teaching business mentorship experience right now. Feel free if you want more information on it. It's support at eco.life. It's support at ihp.coach. But here's what I want to share with you, because I just shared it with them, and so I want to share it with you. So let's say you charge $180 per session or per month. And usually per month, it includes an accountability check-in every single week. It includes their program and protocols, and includes a 1-hour call with you a month. That's very typical, very standard, $180 a month. Very fair. I charged it forever in my practice, and then I went to $290, and then I went to $490, and then I increased from there. But $180 is a good place to start. It also shows your value. You're not under $100, right? For an hour. That's a good amount of your time. So $180, and I only want you to do one appointment a day. That's it. So one appointment a day, Monday through Friday. So I want you to do that appointment at, let's just say 11 or 12, whatever time you want, like it's up to you. Or you're going to do an evening appointment, and that's it. So one appointment a day. So we're knowing our numbers, right? This is what we're doing. So you're going to get compensated $180 per client. You're going to help them out, and it's going to be one appointment per day. So that's 5 per week times 180. Real simple math, right? 180 times 5. That's all we're doing. It's $900. Okay. So there's 52 weeks in a year. Let's just say you're working 50 of those weeks. You take 2 weeks off. Let's say you take 4 weeks off. All right. So you're making $900 per week, doing one appointment a day. We multiply by 48 weeks because you're taking 4 weeks off, maybe a week between Christmas and New Year's, another one at spring break for your kids, another one at 4th of July, another one around Labor Day, something like that. Okay. So that's $43,200, not including all of the different ambassador things that you'll probably be doing, water filters, air filters, supplement protocols, at-home labs, like whatever it is that you're into, right? So you're probably making $50,000 a year doing one appointment a day. That's realistic. Many of our IHPs are doing that very, very easily. And then I let you do the math from there, right? So literally you do the math from there. And also please tune into previous podcasts of how much time you need to schedule, most likely for some of your social media and for your prep for those appointments. Not a lot, but you need to schedule it. All right. So we'll link that up today at ihp.coach/202. That is today's podcast number. All right. So again, then it's easy math from there. 2 appointments a day. And again, you could do it 4 days a week. I'm just giving you the math, right? 2 appointments a day though is 10 a week. That's $100,000 a year. And so these are real numbers. Again, you're doing this because I believe that you want to serve, you want to help people. And I also believe that it is okay to be able to be compensated for the value and the results that you help to get your clients, which I know that you're going to do. All right. So the second part to this then, you know your numbers, you know the time that you can invest. The second is creating content and connecting. So that's it. So this is a big part of it. You can't expect to even get one appointment a day if you're not willing to connect with other individuals. Okay. So first, we always start with our own sphere of influence. And that is what? Well, family, friends, everybody knows somebody who needs to get well, right? Who needs help, who needs to lose weight, who needs to work on anti-aging, et cetera, et cetera. All right. So like that's the initial sphere. But what you want to do is then say, okay, I'm going to reach people online or offline. In the same way as through content. Offline is that you are giving talks at local groups, at your church, at your community, et cetera, or at small businesses, doing lunch and learns. And we have podcasts on all of these things, right? So we have different lesson plans on all these. Okay. And then online, well, you're going to pick one or two channels. I mean, that's really all you need to do. You can choose Instagram, choose TikTok, you can choose YouTube, choose whatever you'd like, right? Those are some of the big ones right now. Again, that'll change in 3 years from now. Doesn't matter. Doesn't mean this podcast is outdated, right? At all. It just means that you're just going to choose whatever the new one is. 5, 6 years ago, Instagram was just starting to get popular. All right. Well, great. Really kind of hit its maybe heyday 2 years ago. And now maybe a little bit on the decline, still very popular. And now TikTok's on the rise. Well, it's going to be different. Again, like these things are all going to change. They really are. But the thing is, you just need to be able to connect with people. So again, in the real world, and then also in the online world, whatever you choose, you can do both if you wanted to. But what you want to do is create content. What does the content do? It teaches. That's all. You want to teach what it is that you do. And then people are going to say, huh, that makes sense. Wow, I really never heard it that way. I like what this person's saying. I'd like to then do what? And this is part 3. Contact this provider, that's you, and get into a free consultation or hear more about the programs, protocols, at-home labs, et cetera, that they offer. And this is the conversion to clients. So we know our numbers, we know our time, we know our energy, we know our consults, we know the income that we want. We know how we have to connect with people. You choose online or offline, right? That's your choice. Create content. And the last part is like, well, let's say for every 5 free consultations you do, or discovery calls, whatever you'd like to call them, right? For every 5, 4 people end up signing up. That would not be unrealistic at all, right? So in my practices in Boston, we expected 90%, 9 out of 10 people would sign up. That's what we expected. Very, very much so. I can do a different show on that as well. But that meant that we listened to the person's story, that we understood where they're coming from. If we felt we could help them, we would literally share with them exactly what we're going to do, so there was no confusion, how we would help, how the process would go, and we would say, does that make sense? Does that sound like something you'd be interested in? And they would say, yes, 9 out of 10 times. And then they would sign up as a client. So what I'm saying is a lot of people make practices to be very difficult, right? Now, there's a lot of fancy stuff that you can do. Absolutely. But I don't believe you should really do too much of that at all until you've mastered these first 3 things. Then when you want to create all these other courses and online content and, fancy YouTube channels or whatever it might be, great, like fine. But give yourself a base first, right? Start to get busy. Make some income so that you can reinvest in your business. That's what we teach inside of the business mentorship experience. It's what we believe in inside of IHP. We want people to be successful. Remember, our goal at IHP is to create 10,000 working practitioners that are seeing anywhere from 500 to 1,000 appointments a year, right? So like you can do that. You really can. When we start to do the math on it, and you see 10 people a week, well, over 50 weeks, it's 500 people. And that's only 2 appointments a day. So again, our goal is to say, we know these protocols work. We know these programs work. We know that natural health in general works. Well, if we can get 10,000 practitioners and they're all seeing basically 1,000 people, well, we're affecting the lives of 10 million people around the world in a very healthy and positive way. So that's our mission. We're going to keep trying to give as much information as we can away. We hope that you are wildly successful, and we look forward to hearing that success story soon. All of the show notes today will be at ihp.coach/202. If you're not already an integrative health practitioner, we would love to welcome you into the community. Simply email support@ihp.coach or head on over to ihp.coach. Download the brochure, set up a free complimentary consultation to see what we're all about, ask questions, and we'll take it from there. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Have an amazing rest of the day. We'll talk with you soon.